Yes, yes, yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And of course, it's Wednesday. So that means it is Ask Rick. And, what's going on there? Let's kill that. Bring that back. Okay, we're good now. Okay. So, as you will have gathered, it's a little bit later than usual. And that's on me. Because you know that Rafi, he had to go for a birthday meal, suspended it from the weekend because the weekend was busy and went out with a well, it was for a meal. It wasn't really for a drink. But Rafi did have a drink. And so starting a little bit later than usual. And let's get this lined up. And Rick almost didn't make it. He had an accident, domestic accident. So Rick but he's a trooper. He's a trooper. And you know that nothing's going to hold Rick down. Nothing's going to slow Rick's roll. So Rick's doing it from the comfort of the marital bed. Rick, and that's the sight the Greeks, Rick's lady, every time she shows up. Rick Glaser, talk to us. What are you doing in bed? What are you doing in bed, Rick?
I took a little shooter. I was taking a shower. Went to take a shower, and somebody called me on the cell phone, and I come back, and I guess the mist from the air. I was gone so long, got on the floor, and I skidded, and I hurt my leg and my ankle. So I'm confined to the bed right now. I know it's a gruesome sight for some people, but my wife puts up with this nightly.
Okay, so for the ladies who like a man with the fuller figure, feast your eyes on Rick. Rick, I know I'm laughing, mate, but you know, I hope you get well soon, Rick. I hope you get well soon.
It'll be all right in a couple of days, I'm sure. That's all.
Sure. I'm sure.
Listen, we're short of time. Let's get to the questions. We got a lot to talk about today.
We've got one hell of a lot to talk about. I don't know where we're going to start. Let's, much appreciation. It's been a couple of days now, Lisa Bayliss, but much appreciation goes out to you and everybody who has been kind enough to join us. Okay, so I've just got back from the restaurant. Rafi had a white rum or two. I will admit to that, Rick. I will admit to a couple of white rums. But, you know, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. I'm here. Rick's here. So let's get into it. Okay. Rick Glaser, I know you've seen it. You must have seen it. What the hell happened to Jeff Horn?
Well, Jeff Horn, he just looked like the speed level was so much different. It made Horn look like he was shot. But Tszyu is a very fast fighter. Tim Tszyu is very fast and very accurate, and he's very precise. And it made Horn look like he was at a whole different level below. And he probably is. He's probably was a little on the back nine. Tszyu's better than people think he is. Tszyu rose to the occasion today, and he looks like he's the real deal to me. I mean, people say he's just so, and he's just that. And he's, let me tell you something. He's as good as he's as good as I thought he was, and because I had been telling people all along. I said his father wouldn't let him fight if he wasn't a good fighter. His father would have too much pride. So I said, this guy's better than people think he is. And it all came together today. So that's what you got. I can't see Horn going on. Horn got a hellacious beating for 8 rounds. His corner pulled the plug in between rounds. I thought they waited 2 rounds too long. I don't think they should have let him out for the 7th. But, Horn is, Horn should retire, and Tim Tszyu definitely should be fighting, top 15 guys from going forward. Forgetting about no more journeymen and stuff like that. Former world champs, top 15 guys, stuff like that. And between the ESPN, between the crowd they did over there, the pay-per-view, and between ESPN Plus, the sponsor, they had a huge crowd. They can afford to bring in and pay people good money to fight over there now. So he's proved to be in a real traction, and he'll even be bigger after today. I think the country will get behind him, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Did you see this coming? Because I didn't see this coming. The favorite was Tszyu, but we thought something.
I had thought Tszyu was going to win. I didn't think his father would let him fight a guy who he would lose to, and at this point, and so I figured he was going to win. But I didn't think he'd be as dominant as he was. The domination was the key. It wasn't winning. There's two different levels. There's winning and losing, and then there's complete domination. That was complete domination.
Yeah,
I mean, he set the standard, the gold standard in the first round. Even, I mean, he walked right across the ring and just took complete control, and it's hard to do, And believe me, the other guy just got wore down. I mean, he was getting hurt with every body shot he got hit with after a little while. I mean, it was like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just. He's the real deal, the kid. There's no question about it. He's not your typical fighter's son, And I always thought in my mind that why would Tszyu, because Tszyu never squandered his money, why would he have his kid fighting if the kid wasn't very capable? Wouldn't make any sense to me. So there you go. And it all came together today, and that's what we got. But I see big things out of the kid, and then I see Horn, announcing a retirement within days. It should be within days anyways. Happy trails, Horn. Listen, Horn became a world champion. He had some big paydays, and you can't ask for more than that. I mean, you had the Pacquiao payday, you had the Crawford payday. I believe he had maybe one title defense. Okay, he had the fight today. He had the 1-on-1 series he had with Michael, whatever his name is. And he's had some big paydays. There's no question about it. So, hats off to Horn.
Hats off to Horn. You mean to Tszyu? Hats off
to
Tszyu.
No, to Horn. Hats off and happy trails.
Yeah, I get you. Yes. It was a big surprise to me. But Tszyu just took care of him, man. Walked right across there and took care of him. Wow. And talking about wow, we got to talk about the guy who kind of excelled himself over the weekend. We're talking about, one of the guys who excelled himself, and his name goes by the name of Joe Smith.
I mean, he's improving every single fight. I mean, that's what reality is. I mean, he looked like the beast from Burton the other night. I mean, he was a real headache from the first round on, and he just put so much pressure on the guy, and he's heavy-handed, threw a lot of punches. What I liked about him was he looked like he knew what he was doing. When he threw punches in the past, he never looked like he knew what he was doing. He was stepping from the left to the right on the inside. He was rolling his shoulders and dipping and just doing things that were old school shit. He went from knowing nothing to being seasoned overnight. It was incredible. The guys really must have studied the Roberto Durans, the Mike McCallums, and those kind of guys, because that's surely what it looked like. I mean, he really, really looked like the real deal the other night, which he never looked like in prior. He may have been victorious because of punching power, but he was victorious the other night because he knew what he was doing. Now, that being said, it looked to me like what's his name there? Alvarez was a little. Alicia Alvarez was a little on the back nine. He was a little shot. He couldn't even back up. He was getting pinned on the ropes. A lot of stuff told me he was on the back nine. He was shot, but I don't want to take away from Joe Smith's victory, because whether he was a little shot or not, it didn't account for how bad the other guy got smashed around. I mean, he really, really overwhelmed him with power, pressure, speed, a little bit of everything. I mean, all of a sudden, Smith looked like overnight he could fight.
Yeah.
We all knew he could punch, but now we realized he could fight. I mean, he just looked like a star. And he's all came together. I coined, after he knocked out the legend Bernard Hopkins at Hopkins' last fight, now and he retired, and now this fight, and Alvarez retired. I'm calling him the retirement specialist. Like you go to a financial agent, you go to a financial advisor, they have retirement specialists. Well, this guy's a retirement specialist. He's put two away.
Yes. So that's Joe Smith looking very impressive. Is Joe Smith kind of slow though? He's a high volume guy.
No, he's not. No. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought he was a speed merchant, but he's moving his shoulders and his body so much well together and so fluid now. I think he's picked up a little speed, and which he didn't show prior. So all around, he just improved so much, and it's affected every part of his game. So he's throwing his punches with more more authority. He's not just throwing his arms out there like he did in the past. He's actually laying down on the punches, and he's being more precise, and just a little bit of everything. He just picked his whole game up.
Yes. So Smith, I think he's got to wait for there's a couple of other guys fighting, and then he's going to fight for the WBO title. I did a video on it. I can't remember the names. I did a video on it. Go and check out the video if you want more in detail about who Smith is waiting for. I forgot their names, but
Vlasov.
Yeah.
And yes, it begins with an S. I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. So
two guys from Eastern Europe. Let's put it that way to you.
Yeah. And it looks like America may be welcoming another champion. This time at the light heavyweight division, fighting for the WBO belt. So that's good news for New York. The Long Island native Smith looks like he's gonna be wearing that burgundy belt pretty soon. So that's good stuff indeed. And let's get into the chat. It's a shorter one tonight, folks. We're just giving you an hour tonight. Rick's in bed. Rafi has just come from a meal, bloated, and he may have had a couple of white rums. Okay, so Roger Lee up in the building. Salute. And Roger Lee asks, we go to the first question from the chat, and he says, Rick, what are your thoughts on Arnold Barboza and his fight this coming weekend?
Actually, I'm a huge fan of Arnold Barboza's, and I can't even remember who he's fighting this weekend, but I'm a huge fan of Arnold's. I like Arnold as a person. I know him personally. Great kid. I wish the best for him. He's been very patient. Top Rank's been building his career. I don't know who he's fighting this weekend, but I know one thing, that I'll be even though I don't have I have a non-financial rooting interest, I'll be rooting for Arnold. He's such a great kid. I wish him the utmost in success.
100%. Robert Lee put who he's fighting. Roger Lee, sorry. Put who he's fighting in the chat. I don't have it before me. Lisa Bailey's up in the building. Yes. And Lisa with a question. Rick, do you think Tim Tszyu is ready for a championship fight?
Yeah, great question. Yes and no. By what I saw today, yes. But if I was handling him, I would give him at least 2 to 3 more fights over the next 9 months before I went to that level. So I'm more assured in my mind that he's going to win a world title when he gets there instead of being rushed. I mean, he's well groomed, but I just think a little more experience. Don't forget, he's knocked a lot of guys out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He was into the 8th round today. World championship bouts are 12 rounds, and you can't count on them going away in the first 4, 5, 6 rounds. You got to count. You got to figure they're going to go the distance, even if they don't. So he needs a little more experience, and he also he paced himself well today, but he only paced himself over 8 rounds. Who knows how he's going to do over 12 rounds? It's that separates the men from the boys. And so a little more experience, but yeah, I think he could beat guys today. They're champs. I mean, I would make him a prohibitive favor to beat Patrick Tszyu, the WBO champ from Brazil. The guy, he's from Brazil. He's a left-handed guy that Golden Boy has. He won the title back in late November, early December, and he hasn't made any title defenses because of the COVID. His title defense had been canceled. So it's kind of situation where he would beat him right now, but he's got a mandatory due anyways.
Yes. So yes. Happy birthday to you, Raphael. Much appreciation. Lisa Bayliss, Pablo Diablo up in the building. Get well soon, Rick Glaser.
Thank you, much appreciated.
100%. That's from Lisa Bayliss and from us all. Okay, so Big Boys Boxing. Rick, how do you think? Oh, okay, you already answered that one about Tim Tszyu. Absolutely smash that like button for sure. Big Boys Boxing says, looks to me like Glenn Rushton has ruined Horn. Before Pac-Man, he used to box a bit. Not anymore.
Well, I'm not going to, I'm not high on Glenn Rushton as a trainer. I've listened to him talk. He doesn't know too much. I will tell you that. But that doesn't mean that that he's taking the clues from the trainer. That because he's been with him for a long time. Maybe the kid changed his style. He became more confident as a puncher in his mind. Maybe he became more confident, period, that he could compete at a top level. So he stood in there more. So I can't blame that on the trainer necessarily, even though I don't have a high opinion of the trainer, but I can't necessarily attribute it to the trainer. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely more.
Right. So, I have a very low opinion of Glenn Rushton. But that being said, it's like, is it the trainer's fault? I can't say it's the trainer's fault in particular, but it may be.
Yes. And okay, let's go for another. Did you hear Rushton's corner instructions? He is useless. I did hear.
Oh yeah, no. I tweeted today that the corner was awful. That I called them disorganized confusion, and they were awful. And they should have pulled the plug after the 6th round. They shouldn't have waited till after the 8th round. That was retarded. I mean, he was just every single body shot he got hit with was hurting him. He was wobbling, and he went down from body shots, and game was over. They're always, everybody's looking for that lucky punch, like what happened. I'm not saying Povetkin's punch was lucky. With Whyte, but what I'm saying, everybody thinks we're going to get lucky. We're going to come back and win. There was no hope of that happening in that fight. He didn't have anything left to win with.
Yeah, and I heard that before, and I heard that they was offering him. They said, "If you got one more minute in you, they want to send him out again." They want to send him out again. They said they were saying, I heard they were saying, if you got one more minute in you, the dude was finished.
Yeah, he was. He was done. Listen, there was going to be after the 6th round. You knew there was no happy ending for Horn.
Yeah,
you could see it. I mean, there was not. I mean, I knew earlier in the fight, but what I meant was for the corners, she had enough common sense after the 6th round to pull the plug. I was surprised the referee let it go as far as it was. What was he watching? So, but I had wrote on Twitter, I had tweeted today after the fight that the corner was awful. I didn't call Rushton by name. I just said the corner, period. They were all bad. There's organized confusion. They were all giving them different instructions. Some wanted to stop the fight in the corner. Some of the guys didn't. I thought they were going to have a board of directors meeting. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, crazy. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of mad. Hi, Rick. Do you think Tim Tszyu learned a thing or two from watching his dad get beat up to the body from Ricky Hatton?
No, nothing at all. That's the, you know, you can't. If you would say to me, who's the better fighter in their career, Hatton or Tszyu, I would say Tszyu. Okay, but that being said, the timing was right. Hatton came along, and he was a young buck, strong. Tszyu was wore out. He had 400 amateurs. He had all those pro fights, and the game was over. It was a true, a passing of the torch situation. You know, the one was coming and one was going. Two ships passing the night. Carl Roberts. Thank you very much.
Absolutement. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the chat in a second. Gonna get in a couple from me. Okay, so Josh Taylor versus Apinon Kashkong is official for September the 26th.
Well, I'll assume that's the guy from Thailand with that he's fighting. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I've heard it pronounced 40 different ways so far. It's a crazy name. You know, I don't see anybody beating Josh Taylor, and I don't see Lipinets beating Jose Ramirez either. So those guys will be eventually clashing, and you know, for all the marbles at 140 pounds, hopefully we'll end up with an undisputed 140-pound, junior welterweight champ, just like we had with Crawford when he won all 4 belts, and he moved up to 40. I can see Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. It's going to be a big fight. It's a clash of cultures. It's a clash of styles. It's a clash of everything. You know what I mean? Continents. It's what boxing's all about. You know, truly. You know, we'll have a true world champion.
Yes, indeed. Mariaga versus Gonzalez is set for September the 12th.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not. It's no great shakes. It's just a fight. You know, it'll be a good action fight because both guys get hit a lot. But it's, you know, it's not like somebody's clamoring to say, "Oh, I can't wait to see Mariaga and Gonzalez." I mean, it's a good fight that night. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a fight you think about here on August 26th. You know, I can't wait till September 12th.
Yard versus Spellman.
Actually, I like that fight. Spellman looked like he was a little pedestrian-like against what's his name, Landon there, his last fight there, whatever his name is. But you know what? He was pretty exciting. He wasn't bad. He gave 1,000% of himself. He earned another fight. He earned another payday. Let's face it. Especially in COVID times where you can't be flying people in and all the travel bans. So it makes sense. You know, I'm very friendly with Frank Warren's matchmaker, Jason McClure, and we talked about it and stuff. And he says, "Hey, listen, he was competitive a couple weeks ago, and there's no reason why he won't be competitive with Yardy, especially Yardy. He swings wild and stuff like that. So you know what, this guy's pretty workmanlike. He's fighting Spellman, and you know, it'll be an interesting fight. You know, it's solid. Let's put it that way to you."
Solid fight, and another interesting matchup. I think this is going to be an exciting one. Frank Warren, he's just talking about Frank Warren, I think, and his matchmaker. Well, they've done it again because they've got Nathan Gorman. You'll remember last time out was fighting Daniel Dubois. Well, they've matched up one ex-Dubois guy who fought Dubois versus Richard Lartey. That's going to be.
They told me they were going to make that fight. It makes a lot of sense for everybody involved. You know, literally everybody involved. It's a natural progression for Nate Gorman, and Lartey. You know what? Lartey gives 100% of himself, but it's tough to look good against Dubois when you're laying on the deck.
OMG. OMG. So another one from my selection. Erickson Lubin's coach expects him to dominate. Terrell Gusha.
Yeah, that's a different league. He's much faster, much fresher, much younger, and Gersha had his day. He was an Olympian, and he had his title shot with Lara. He came up short, and now they're getting fed to he's getting fed to the wolves. And I think Lubin will just completely dominate him. He's too slick. He's left-handed. He's too slick, too powerful, too fresh, too young, and I just think he's going to walk all over Gersha.
Yes. Talking about too fresh, too young. I know somebody who isn't too fresh, too young, and that's Arisande Alvarez.
Alexander Lara?
No, Alvarez. Elida.
Alvarez. Yeah. Well, we talked about that. He's pretty gone.
He's gone. What do you think? Keep fighting or hang him up? Keep fighting or
hang him up. Hang him up. He's already retired. When you're thinking about retirement, you're retired.
Yeah. How's he? Did he make a good amount of money? He fought Kovalev twice. He should be okay. He should have a retirement fund.
Yeah. He's gonna make good money basically his whole career. He should be all right. Yeah, he's not. One thing about those Montreal fighters, they're not big spenders. Right. Because the reason why they don't have to be big spenders is because in Montreal is a town where if you're a boxer or you're like a hero up there. If you live up there, you're not from there, but you're real good, like a champion and stuff. Yeah. So you walk into bars, restaurants, you eat for free, and come on to a party, and you come on over here. Join us. Somebody picks up the tab. So you're like on the you're like on a free ride.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's like he'll be fine, in my opinion.
He will be fine. We're going to come to the Dillian Whyte question slightly later. So if I skip your question, it's Dillian Whyte related. You understand why. I'll try and get back to it. No problemo. So let's go back into the chat and see what's going on. See what questions we got from the chat. Okay. So, that's a good question. Lisa Bayliss. Rick, what was your favorite fight of the weekend?
Well, it was definitely the Joe Smith fight because being an American, beating a Colombian Canadian and stuff, and I'm a patriotic guy, so it was definitely the Joe Smith fight. But from a boxing standpoint, from a pure boxing standpoint, it had to be Povetkin knocking out Whyte. It had to be because it changed the landscape of the division so much.
Okay.
One punch. It went from having Whyte being the way of with the mandatory after Fury dusts off Wilder again, and now mandatory won't take place from a year from the day he won the title, Povetkin, if he's still the champ. Now, just to let you know how this works. They have a year. He's got a year now because he inherits. You don't inherit the mandatory. There's a misunderstanding about what happened the other day. Okay, the WBC can anoint you number one, but you don't become the mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
To be the mandatory, you have to be the first available challenger when the time is due.
Mm-hmm.
While Whyte's time was due, obviously. It's been due for 3 years. Okay, he can thank a weak promoter and Eddie Hearn for not standing up for him. But in the meantime, now if he wins the rematch, Povetkin, let's say he wins the rematch. Okay, so from the original fight when he inherited the mandatory, when he won the title, he inherited the mandatory. It's 1 year from then.
Mm-hmm.
So if Povetkin, now listen to this now. Now, if what's his name wins the rematch, Whyte, that mandatory now doesn't start until 1 year from the day he won it back.
Okay, so the whole mandatory, the whole undisputed path has been cleared by Dillian Whyte's presumably temporary demise. So Bob Arum was out there whooping it up, throwing his hat up in the air and not catching it. He's happy as Larry.
Well, it saved them a lot of money. They don't have to piece anybody off. You know, Wilder didn't want to step aside to have Joshua take place. Whyte didn't want to step aside for the winner of Wilder Fury. Now, you know, Dillian, you know, no offense to Dillian, but, you know, he literally went to sleep twice the other night. He went to sleep when he didn't see the punch coming, and when he got hit, he went to sleep again. So there you go.
OMG. And we got one from Ruben Guerrero on same topic. Hello to Ruben Guerrero. Okay. Does Rick think fans should still think of Whyte as top 5? Well, the question really should be, do you think that Whyte is still top 5, excuse me, or does he have
I think he's top 10 right now. Until he regains, if he beats back in, then I would put him back in the top 5, but not until then.
So top 10. So he's dropping down a couple spots, just like Deontay Wilder did. I think currently, Rick's dropped off. I guess he's gonna jump back in. Signal failure. Okay. Straight away, Rick knows what to do. He's a veteran now. You dropped off for a second, straight back in. Okay. What we got here? What we got here? What's the next one? Pretty sure I've skipped a few. Plenty of posts in the chat. Keep them coming. I'm just trying to regain my place. Yes. The Red Glove Militant is up in the building.
Yay, the Red Glove Militant, our man from Tampa.
Indeed. Let me keep on scrolling here because I'm sure I've missed my place. Keep on going. The Prudent Man is in the building. Where are we? Actually, let me get to one of my questions and then I'll scroll down, try and find where I was originally. Okay, so back into my list. What do you think about the Porter fight over the weekend, Rick? The Sean Porter fight.
It was disgusting and it got a horrible rating, and there was no reason to put that fight on. I don't care what you call it. You can dress anything up. You can call it anything you want. It's still garbage, and it was garbage. They called it eliminated. It was garbage. Everybody knew that fight was a joke. Okay, and another thing is the announcers, they kept saying the guy was a German fighter. He's not a German fighter. He's Polish and turned pro in Germany, with the Sauerlands, and he was from Poland. I don't know where they kept screwing that up all night long, but in the meantime, he was awful, and Porter, he didn't have the gumption to go finish him off. I mean, he almost looked like he felt sorry for the guy. The fight was very, very, very lame, and it didn't. They should never put that kid in that position. That was, use him as a main event on national TV. He's not a main event type of fighter. He's a preliminary type of fighter. He was awful. He was god awful.
Pretty damn awful. And what did Porter say? Porter says he expects to become a mandatory challenger for Spence Garcia, a winner.
Yeah, I mean that's just normal stuff. That's how you're fighting an eliminator. That's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? That's what the eliminator is for. So yeah, he put himself in that position. That's all good, but I mean, you put yourself in that position fighting a guy that was lame. I mean, Top Rank's got 6-round guys that are prospects that can beat that guy.
Dang.
I mean, he was awful. I mean, he was, every round was so repetitious too. That's why people turned it off. I mean, there was so much good boxing to watch. I watched the ESPN fights, the Plus and all that, and That's why the ratings were so low, because every round's the same. You could see the guy had no prayer. The guy couldn't. There was not even a thought. Oh, maybe the guy could come back and knock him out. I mean, come on. You saw the guy was punching didn't even punch like a pro. So no prayer.
No prayer whatsoever. No prayer whatsoever. And happy birthday, Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio from Big Boys Boxing. Happy birthday, Philip Carl Roberts says. T. Whyte, the fight doctor. Happy birthday, bro. Much appreciation for all the birthday wishes. Much appreciation. Thank you very much indeed. DJ Georgie Porgy up in the building. Thumbs up, gang. And another one. Much appreciation to everybody. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You cannot super chat today. Something I should have done, some pin or something or other. I'll have to look into that later. But you cannot super chat today. Save it for another day. Save it for the next live. Okay. So what was this question I had on my mind here? Oh, yeah. Villa says the Navarrete fight is coming at a perfect time in his career. That's Ruben Villa.
Ruben Villa, I can't see him beating Navarrete. I don't think he's strong enough. He don't punch strong enough. The weight difference the night of the fight is going to be scary. Navarrete's going to blow up to. Oh my God, he'll outweigh him by 8, 9, 10 pounds a night. Night when they enter the ring that night, and I just think I think he's too much fighter. Period.
Too much for him.
Yep. I don't see Villa beating him. He's good. Villa's good, but he's not. He's not that league.
Different league. Different
league. Yep.
So De La Hoya says Campbell fight will show. Garcia, the Campbell fight will show that Garcia has what it takes to be the best lightweight in the world.
I'm not saying he's going to be the best lightweight in the world, but I will say he's going to beat Luke Campbell. That I will say, but I don't know. I don't know. Devin Haney's a real good fighter, and Lomachenko is a real good fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a real good fighter, so I don't know he's the best. He'll be better than Gervonta Davis. Let's put it that way to you. He'll move up in the pecking order, in my mind. More. It'll be a bigger win for Ryan Garcia to beat Luke Campbell than for Gervonta Davis to beat Leo Santa Cruz.
Say that again, please. Say that again.
It'll be a bigger win for Ryan Garcia to beat Luke Campbell than for Gervonta Davis to beat Leo Santa Cruz.
But people are saying that Leo Santa Cruz with his higher output could sneak past Gervonta Davis though.
Because what's the name could be weight drained and stuff like that. But I really believe that this will put Ryan Garcia on a bigger plateau and a bigger fighter in people's minds, and deservingly so, than if Gervonta Davis beats Leo Santa Cruz. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, I'm going to go into the chat in a second. Okay. I see one here. Can Richard Latte beat Sergey Kuzmin?
They're not fighting.
They're not fighting. You mean Gorman, Nathan Gorman?
No, he's not beating Nathan Gorman. No, Nathan Gorman's Nathan Gorman can't beat Dubois, but he's a damn good fighter. It's sort of like Dillian Whyte to Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte's a good fighter in his own right, but he wasn't beating Anthony Joshua. Well, Gormley's a good fighter in his own right. He's just not beating Daniel Dubois, who's the next great thing. Yeah. So Kuzman's not on that level.
Yes. I think we answered this earlier on, DJ Georgie Porgy, but I'll let Rick tell you again. Should Horn retire after that ass whooping?
Oh yeah, no question about it. There's not even not even a question about it. You know, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over into my list. Joshua Buatsi is to return in September to face Alan Bar. Oh no, who is he facing? Does it tell me? Alan Barbic. He says Alan Barbic will be. Nah, it's a jumble. He don't tell me. It don't tell me who he is fighting. He don't tell me who he's fighting, so we can skip that one. There's a lack of information there. Lacks the crucial information. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, promoter wants Ilya Alvarez to think over his career. Oh, wants to think over his career? Wants him to think over it? Forget that.
He wants to think about not retiring because the promoter wants to still make that. Yvonne Michelle wants to make grab that last dollar from him, squeeze him for that last dollar.
Yeah,
the guy should be retired.
The
trainer. Listen, you always go along with what the trainer says.
Mm-hmm.
The trainer says he should be retired. He should be retired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Now, Glenn Rushton might not have that kind of common sense that apply that Mark Ramsey, Alvarez's trainer does. So I wouldn't maybe listen to Glenn Rushton, no matter what Glenn Rushton says. But yeah, he should be. They both should be retired for sure, 100%.
100%. Australian boxing legend Jeff Fennick has taken a swipe at Jeff Horn's head trainer, Glenn Rushton, as Horn's anticipated fight looms. Oh, well, this was even before. This was before the fight. So even before the fight, Jeff Fennick had his doubts about Rushton. So that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate.
Well, I mean, anybody who ever listened to the guy, you can tell you the guy didn't know anything. I mean, I've listened to the guy talk on podcasts and stuff like that, and the guy doesn't know anything. He's a moron. I mean, I said it today on Twitter. My closing comment was, when you have a corner that bad, you deserve to lose.
Wow. OMG. I've never really paid attention. So how the hell did Horn beat Hall of Fame Manny Pacquiao?
Well, that's a trainer. The fighter rose to the occasion. The fighter is full of adrenaline and rose to the occasion. Yeah. You're confusing issues here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Don't forget. I haven't seen too many trainers throw punches while they're training their fighter. They may have fought at one time and they were respectable fighters. I never knew if Rushton was a respectable fighter or not. I probably wasn't too respectable if he was a fighter. I never heard of him. But that being said, I mean, these guys gotta, the fighters fight. You know what I mean? That's what they do for a living. But at a certain point in time, common sense has to prevail and call it a day. They need to find something else to do.
Okay, so interesting things said, interesting things about to be said. I don't think we talked about this yet. So the news broke that DAZN weren't happy with the Canelo pairing with that Turkish fella. And they said, nah, we're not going to pay you for that. Forget about that. Scrap that. You went to the WBC, petitioned them to get the fight. Hell to the no, no. We ain't paying you for that.
That's not what happened.
Well, tell me what happened. Tell me what happened.
The WBC approached Canelo. I don't care what anybody said. They approached Canelo, and the only thing that was negotiated was to negotiate the fee down. Not the 3% sanctioning fee, probably capped off at 300,000 or something like that. Yeah. That's what happened. Yep. I don't believe that Canelo went there to go beg for the title. Trust me, he doesn't have to gravel anybody.
Hey, okay. So, well, there's conflicting stories, but okay. Whichever way it went, he was cool with the matchup. DAZN said, hell no. And now Golden Boy are talking about DAZN discussing Canelo fighting Smith or Saunders in November. So whatever happened, I'm glad it happened, because now it looks like Canelo is going to have to take a real fight. Rick Glaser, talk to me.
Yeah, he'll probably choose BJ Saunders, Billy Joe Saunders. He was in the mix the last time, and back in May, he was supposed to get the fight, and it was canceled. So it's all good,
All's good
It's
that
all
ends well. All's
yeah,
good that ends well.
yeah. It'll be Billy Joe Saunders. I would think, anyways.
That's gonna
I
be
don't.
a, well, that's gonna be a tricky fight. That's gonna be a tricky fight, and I'll tell you why. Because Billy Joe Saunders can be extremely elusive when he needs to be. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
tricky fight, Rick. I'm telling you.
yeah. I agree.
It's gonna be a tricky fight. Okay, so where we at? Chase Athletics up in the building. Yes, yes, yes. Have we got a question? Have we got a question from Rick? Okay, there we go. Got one. Okay, so Rick does a quick turnaround for Whyte versus Povetkin. Prove to be is it beneficial for one fighter more so than the other, or is it
Yeah,
just
it's beneficial to Povetkin because of the fact that it will still be dwelling in put it this way to you, right about now Povetkin is living rent free in Whyte's mind.
mm-hmm.
So that's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't get knocked out cold like that without having to have being mentally and emotional effects. And I don't mean mental like long-term damage. I mean for right now.
Yeah.
That it actually happened to him.
Who do you think wins the rematch?
I don't know. I don't know. I would think after watching the first 4 rounds of the fight that Whyte would win, but you know what? Maybe Whyte is, I hate to say the word scared, but maybe he's scared. Maybe he fights differently. Maybe he knows his career's on the line, so he's nervous. And I don't know. I don't know Dillian personally, so it's too hard to say. But I think I would give an edge, even though I do think Whyte will win. I do give a big edge in this fight to Povetkin because he'll be confident, and the other guy won't. The other guy's just the opposite way. So I think the gap is closed up there greatly between the two of them.
Yeah. So Porter, Formella, Fox,
we already did that.
Oh, we did that. Did we talk about the numbers one?
Yep.
Okay, we talked about the numbers. Let's skip past that because we already done it. WB Warren says WBC confirmed Fury will have 1 year mandatory. Once 1 year once mandatory is decided. So we covered that too.
Right.
We covered that too. Okay, we cover it. Yeah, we're getting stuff in. Okay, we got one from the chat. Ask Rick, has he heard Eddie Hearn said he might be putting fights on his YouTube channel if Sky Sports ditch him? I'm not sure why they would ditch Matchroom.
I don't know what he's talking about because if they ditch Matchroom, like the rumor has, he's going to put the fights on DAZN. DAZN going to own the rest of the rights once those rights are gone. Yeah. So I don't know why he'd be doing that. It makes no sense. That conversation makes no sense to me. Now I don't know what he's talking about. He must know something I don't know about it, but because he's the principal here. But that part, from what I know, that conversation makes no sense. If it's not on, let me get this straight. If it's not on
Sky
TV, then why wouldn't it be on DAZN? Makes no sense, right? Okay.
Yeah. No, make no sense. Yeah. So I think that's some kind of strange reporting. I think that's some kind of strange reporting, Pablo, because I don't think that Sky want to be without the Matchroom product. Okay, so the Outlaw is in the building, and he asks, "What's up with the lack of fights for Golden Boy and Matchroom USA on DAZN?"
Well, they're just opening up with their fall schedule now. They're just putting it together right now. They were on the look-see for a lot of reasons because their prescribers are slow coming back and the COVID. So now that's both of the fans are starting to trickle back. And the COVID is sort of like we've got everything sort of in place, even though we have a COVID problem. They're going to start picking up with more fights in the fall here.
Hearn says Joshua wants to fight this year, and he will.
Yeah, he's going to fight Pulev and get that behind him. There's no question about that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. David Benavides requests to be reinstated to the WBC rankings.
My status on that, let him go fight in a 10-round fight and let him make 168 pounds and show that he's really still a 168 pounder.
Yeah.
Don't just put him back in the rankings. So you got it rated number 1 at light heavyweight. He wants to fight at 68. He says, "Well, go prove it to the world." And then that was very unprofessional. What was really unprofessional about it wasn't that he missed the weight. He never even tried to make the weight. He never went back and tried to make the weight, sweat it off or anything. He just gave up. And that showed total disrespect for being the champion and all, and the WBC, the belt itself. I mean, just not a good situation. But he needs to go fight a 10-rounder, win at 168 pounds, make 68, show the BC, and then they should put him back in for eliminator. They shouldn't let him go right back to the title for sure.
Yes. So Saw Rongasai says he's looking forward to bringing the title back home to Thailand.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he still got it, and hopefully he does, and he makes great fights. And hopefully he does for his own sake and his country's sake. I know he means a lot to his country, so that'd be great.
Yes. And let's go back into the chat. His speech is good. Where are we here? What's going on? Lisa Bayliss says, what's going on with Canelo, DAZN, and P? Oh, yeah, that's a good question because it's been said that Canelo is talking to P. Say.
No, that's not true at all. He can talk. The PBC can talk about. He's got a contract with Golden Boy. He's not going anywhere. So that's not. It's not a matter of just DAZN. He's got a contract with Golden Boy. That isn't going away. He's got to fight. He's got years to go on that contract. So he ain't talking to go. If he's talking to go to PBC, that's a lawsuit in 3/4, because everybody knows who promotes Golden Boy, and that's torturous interference if they try to do that. So that's not happening. Heyman already lost $40 million when he sued Richard Schaefer, and he was going to sue Heyman too for the theft of those fighters. I don't think that one thing about Oscar, he's armed with the best attorneys. I don't think Heyman's going to do something that stupid.
He's not going to interfere. He's not going to interfere with a fighter who is contracted. No. Okay. Interesting rumor nonetheless. But let's move on to something. It's not a rumor. It's factual. Okay. So Jose Ramirez is facing off against Ukraine's Victor Postal, with the two finally set to square off this weekend on ESPN Plus. That's Ramirez versus.
It's a very good fight. I expect Ramirez to successfully win his fight, as I do Josh Taylor, and then the two of them collide. But it's a very good fight. Worth paying the $5. If you're not a subscriber to ESPN Plus, it's worth paying the $5 and getting the fight, because it's $5 a month, and you get a lot of sports. Not only that fight, but that fight alone's surely worth $5. I'd pay $50 to see it. I'd pay $60. I'd pay $75 to see
it. Yes. It's going to be a good one, and that's on this weekend, ESPN Plus. Okay, so where are we now? We're coming close to the end of the show. If you got a question, you better put it in now, or else you're gonna miss out, because we're coming close to the end. So Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook negotiations underway, says Eddie Hearn.
I'd like to hear what the weight is. If it's a title, I know that Crawford wants it to be a title fight. I mean, can Kell Brook make 147 safely anymore? I don't think so. I mean, maybe he cuts his Johnson off. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know, but
Gee,
it's
that's drastic, man.
Jesus.
That's,
Jesus.
that's
I
drastic.
can't I can't see him. I can't see him weighing that. I just don't see it.
Mm,
I just don't see it,
mm,
So
mm.
that's the story there.
Okay, so Hearn wants Whyte Povetkin to take place in late November, and according to this article, he explains why. What's the reason? What's the reason? What
Well,
is
the reason is because here's the reason why. Because if Povetkin wins, if I'm sorry, if
Whyte?
White wins, his mandatory starts from that day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for 1 year. That
Mm-hmm.
means that would interfere with the Joshua Fury rematch because they're going to fight at least twice. You know that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in the meantime, is you have a rematch, so that time frame would interfere probably with the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why. So then he and White can extort some money out of Frank Warren and Top Rank. So
Extort.
that's why.
OMG. OMG. Okay, so Huey Fury says, I took Povetkin's best shots. I'm dying for a rematch.
Yeah, I mean, does Huey Fury barely exists? So he is what he is. I mean, he's just a guy. He's not even worth talking about.
Damn. OMG. OMG. Okay. So as we close in to the end, I'm just looking through my videos over here that I've done to see if I've missed anything obvious. Yeah. Okay. I got a title here. Annihilation. Why are Americans acting like it's the 4th of July since Dillian Whyte's loss? Rick Glaser.
Because it's mostly the LDBCers, the
Yeah.
Haymanites, and the Agenda crew.
Yeah.
And they're talking like that because he's saying he could have beat Wilder, and look, he got knocked out by Povetkin, who doesn't punch as hard as Wilder and stuff. But listen, he didn't see the punch coming.
Yeah.
Anybody can get knocked out like that. I'm not going to tell you that White doesn't have a good chin because of that knockout.
Right.
That'd be stupid of me. But I mean, did he see it coming? No. Did he go to sleep? Yeah. I mean, he went to sleep. He was out before he hit the deck.
Huh. Yeah, he was. He was straight up out. Yeah. And what else? What else we got here? What else did I want to ask you? Whyte. We talked about the rematch coming late November. What did you have a problem with his cornerman? Did you have a problem with his trainer? Did you have a problem with his tactics? Or
he just got caught. It was him. He just went to sleep twice. He wasn't paying attention, and in the meantime, he got outsmarted, and then he got hit and got woke up. They put to sleep, and then he woke up. I mean, it's all there is to it. It was nothing to do with the trainer. The guy was he carried the first 4 rounds of the fight. He knocked the guy down twice. It was 30 seconds in a round, one punch, and it was over. I can't blame the trainer for that. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be ridiculous for me to blame the trainer.
Yes. Some people are trying to do that. But I don't see it. I don't see a problem with the trainer. I had him on yesterday. Xavier Miller coming over here, just like you, Rick, to show love and support to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio crew.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it for 20 straight weeks.
No, that is true. That record is unbeaten. Okay. So, Rick, do you think Joshua would benefit from leaving Matchroom and promoting himself, maybe not fighting regularly enough for me? That says
what does that have to do with Eddie Hearn? I mean, we've been in a COVID situation. He was supposed to fight. I can't blame Eddie Hearn for that. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Eddie's, but right's right and wrong is wrong, and I'm always on the side of right. Eddie's right. They've had a COVID problem. So what was he supposed to do? But to pay Joshua those big purses, you need fans. So I don't blame I don't blame Eddie on that. You can't blame Eddie for that. So Eddie's done fine for Joshua. He didn't do fine for Wilder. For Whyte.
Whyte.
But he has done fine. He has done fine for Joshua, no question about it.
How do you think that fight would have gone? Whyte v Wilder. How do you think that fight would have gone? Percentage? What's the percentage ratio? What's the split there?
I thought, and obviously PBC felt the same way because they wouldn't do the fight. Most everybody you talked to thought Whyte would beat him, and I still say I don't go by the knockout the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because don't forget one thing: Wilder's punches you can see coming a mile away. That was a sneaky disguised punch the other day by Povetkin, real crafty. Wilder doesn't do anything crafty. You see all that shit coming a mile away. So that same punch wouldn't have landed coming from a Wilder. It wouldn't have landed on Whyte the other day.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So that decision, in no way, what happened to Whyte the other day, in no way dampens my feeling that he would have took Deontay Wilder out of there. And like you just said, Rick, it's not a coincidence that Shelley Finkel didn't want it. Al Heyman didn't want it. Showtime didn't want it. Espinosa didn't want it. Fox don't want it. It's no secret that none of them people wanted it. But let me ask you this: would Whyte versus Wilder, could that generate as much as the Wilder's fights against Ortiz?
Yeah, but that was a much safer fight, and he's in house. In case he wins, they control the guy. They don't control Whyte.
The point I'm trying to get to is, I had a big gathering of Americans over here the other day, who were, I think, kind of obviously leaning towards Wilder. Well, I think most of them did. Most of them did lean towards Wilder as winning that fight, which is understandable. They're Americans, I understand. But one person put forth the argument that Wilder fighting Ortiz was more financially rewarding than, or it would generate more money than Wilder fighting Whyte.
No. Ortiz is getting a couple million. He's not getting the amount of money they'd have to pay Dillian Whyte. Okay, so they make more money, but it's not a bigger fight. Right. Wilder and at the time, Wilder and Whyte would have been much bigger. But they make a lot of money on the fight because they only got to pay the other guy $2 million. Yeah. But they didn't make any money. They still didn't make any money because on pay-per-view, because they had to overpay. They had to overpay Wilder because of the fact that because Lou DiBella went to do that deal with the zone, so they got to up the purses drastically for them not to have him run across the street to the zone. So it was a mess caused by Lou DiBella.
How much do you know the ballpark figure about how much Wilder would have got for that for the Ortiz fights? Do you have a clue about the ballpark figure?
Yeah, somewhere like somebody said $12 million, $12 million
for the second one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. That's helpful. Okay, and we are literally knocking on the door of the end of the show. And I'm looking for one more question. I know Rick doesn't do the female boxing. But let's hear what Rick has to say about this. Rick, do you think Pursoon might be able to exact revenge on her robbers back when she's back in the police force?
I don't know. It was a close fight the other day. But I'm so enthusiastic about, like I've said to people, women should be either have high heels on or in the kitchen. What's even better is high heels in the kitchen.
Damn. And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end. I know Rick's in pain there. We've taken an hour out of his day. And Rick, much appreciation goes out to you. We had to cut it short a little bit because I had a little celebration.
No
And,
problem. We'll see it. We'll see it. We'll see everybody, you, and we'll see everybody else next week at normal time.
Yeah.
Okay, 4:00 Eastern time, 9:00 over there.
Yep.
And in the UK, and
1 p.m. over there on the West Coast, and 2 p.m. up in the mountains. And so, Rick Glaser, get well soon. Take a painkiller. I twisted myself. I twisted my core up pretty bad a couple of days ago playing tennis when I fell. When my foot got trapped in the net and I twisted and turned and whatever. Took a few ibuprofen and I'm good. I'm good to go.
Enjoy.
Yes, Rick Glaser, take care.
Happy birthday.
Soon. Okay. Happy birthday to me, and see you next week. Thank you, Rick Glaser. Excellente, excellente. All of Rick's details are down in the description box, and we're going to carry on a little bit longer because I got the energy. I got a little bit of stamina for a little bit more, and I haven't talked about the Pursoon fight. I haven't talked about the Pursoon fight, the Katie. Well, once again, I'm sorry. I should have made a video on it, but I haven't. But maybe this can serve as a video. I need to get my point of view out there. Well, I should add my point of view on this thing. I did it in the live show. Maybe I need to do a little quick video on it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am sorry, but I think Pursoon did it again. Pursoon did it again, and she got screwed again. I think she did it. I think she landed more. I think she had the more powerful shots. Katie Taylor had the cleaner shots, but no. I think once again, the score, the judges went against her, and I think it's unfortunate because if the scoring had been fair, then Pursoon would have won at least one of those fights. And then this would have set up the trilogy nicely. I say it all the time. It's the same thing with Canelo versus Triple G. If they'd have scored it properly and been honest about it, if the judges had been honest, then we'd have had a trilogy by now. We'd have had a nice trilogy. Triple G would have won the first one. Maybe Canelo sneaks the second one, and then boom. Everything to play for in the third one. Now Canelo's not interested in the fight, and I can't really say I'm interested in the fight because Triple G is just only going to get screwed over again, and that ain't good. That ain't good. Had it 6-4 for KT, the cleaner, more effective punches and defense. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see. Thank you, Pablo Diablo. Much appreciated. Yeah, I can perfectly see that. I just think that even though Pursoon wasn't the cleaner fighter, she was the fighter who was landing the more. And who was pressing the action? So Pursoon outlanded Taylor. Pursoon was pressing the action. Should Katie Taylor win because she was the cleaner? She had the cleaner work? I don't know. I really don't feel that way. I feel that the person who lands the most and presses the action. I don't know. I think, you're landing more and you're pressing the action. You should win, in my humble opinion. Boom, boom, boom. That's the way I see that. Where are we? Interesting opinion, Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. Even Pursoon herself was happy with the scorecards. Yeah, she was happy with the scorecards directly after the fight. She felt that she had something in her mind. She probably felt she had to knock out Katie Taylor in the UK, and she didn't do so. So she resigned herself to the fact that she lost. However, I put it to you that when she goes back and watches the fight back, she may have a very, very different opinion. A very, very different opinion. So, we have to bear that in mind. And let me look to see if there's anything that I have overlooked. Is there anything I've overlooked? Okay. Oh, there is something. There is one thing. There is one thing. Where did I see it? Where did I see it? I know we've covered. Oh, where is it? Where the hell is it? There's something I wanted to talk about. Huh. Okay. Give me a second there. Has anybody said anything? Yes. Pursoon cheek got busted up. Cheeks. Both cheeks. Both of Pursoon's cheeks got busted up. That don't sound right, does it? That don't sound right at all. But yeah, she looked like the Phantom of the Opera. I said it live. I said it live. But Ignites are rather remarkable. Okay. I forgot. I do know what I was looking for, but I can't see it right now. But let me give it one more try. Andrew Ruiz on, what's his name? Whyte. Andrew Ruiz, Whyte. Let's see if we find this. Okay, so Andy Ruiz, I was so happy Whyte got knocked the F out. What is that? What is that thing you just posted there? What is that thing you just posted there? Okay, that's an interesting one. Indeed. Okay, so Andrew Ruiz, I was so happy Whyte got knocked the F out. Former unified heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz fired off some verbal shots. Let me get to where he says. Okay, he says I was so happy that Whyte got his ass knocked the F out. You know why? Because he doesn't have respect for the fighters. That's what gets me pissed off. What else does he say? Because Whyte doesn't have respect for the fighters. Whyte doesn't have respect for the fighters. So he's happy that Whyte got knocked off. Where are we? Was there a head clash? Yeah, there were multiple head clashes. And what's her name? Katie Taylor. She had bumps on her forehead because of her head going into Pursoon's cheek. Most unfortunate. Yeah, that thing there you posted up, Pablo. Yeah, I'll do a little piece on that separately. It's interesting. It's unfortunate for him, but it's interesting that. What do you call him? Andy Ruiz, Andreas the Punch Ruiz. It's interesting that he's talking about respect. And this is not something I would ordinarily talk about. I wouldn't ordinarily talk about a fighter's personal life, but how the hell is Andreas the Punch Ruiz talking about respect when he himself, and I'm not talking from second-hand knowledge, third-hand knowledge. I think it was the Saturday night of the fight, after the fight. It was a Saturday night after the fight, after the Dillian Whyte fight, when I was on my social media. Was I on Twitter or was it Instagram? And I saw Andreas the Punch Ruiz kind of drinking some kind of drink. I don't know if it was an alcoholic beverage or whatever it was, but he was clearly feeling very, very happy. Was that induced by some alcoholic beverage or not? Well, you be the judge. But what I saw was Andreas the Punch Ruiz pick up his phone. He went live. He said, look at this. And he proceeded to stick his tongue down the throat of a willing lady who did not look anything like his wife. So now you got the man talking about respect. And the same man who's talking about respect is picking up his own phone, pressing the button deliberately to go live and embroil himself in an entanglement. What the hell is he on? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that and then come back talking about respect? You know, do you not respect your wife? Clearly not, my friend. Clearly not. So I don't know if Andreas the Punch Ruiz is the right guy to be talking about and preaching a message of respect when you're carrying on like that, when you're putting yourself out there like that, when you're putting yourself in that kind of entanglement. You must have been hella drunk. Must have been hella drunk to press that let's go live, to think it would be a good idea to go live. Utterly preposterous. Utterly bizarre and preposterous. How are you going to put your wife out there like that? Huh? How are you going to put your wife out there like that? So, you know, if you want to do something, if you're not satisfied, then, you know, absolutely. You gotta do what you gotta do, but to be so intoxicated that you're gonna really think it's a good idea to press the let's go live, to think it's time to go live when you're embroiled in an entanglement like that. Sure, you deleted the video. Yeah, you deleted the video. It's not available, but people saw it, and I'm one of them. And now you come around talking about respect. Andreas the Punch Ruiz, my man, shake your head. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? You must be out of your damn mind. You must be out of your damn mind. Okay. What's the responses in the chat? I mean, normally I wouldn't talk about a man's personal life, but if he's putting his personal life out there on social media, and you know, he's done it to himself. He's done it to himself. What did the Punch do? 100%. It's got to be 100%. It's got to be 100%, Lisa. You wouldn't pick up a phone. You wouldn't pick up your phone and you know, and you're at a party and you may have had a couple of tequila sunrises, and then you're gonna pick up the phone when you know your partner is at home and you're going live, you know, acting in an inappropriate manner. Lisa, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. Surely. Man, the man is outrageous. Quite frankly, outrageous. Yeah, he went live when he was sticking his tongue down a woman's throat, and that woman was not his wife. You know, he can only hope that his wife and his 5 kids didn't see it. You know, man, what about the children? Think about the children's. Okay. Right. Yes. The Rafi ain't done yet. Rafi's got a little bit of energy before bedtime. Bedtime's coming up. Bedtime is coming up. But before that, let me just have a quick glance around, see if there's anything that I missed that I want to talk about. Okay, so Tim Tszyu, we've talked about that, to beat down Jeff Horn. I mean, yeah, he did. He beat down Jeff Horn. And I think Jeff Horn maybe needs to call it a day now. He's made some money. We talked about it with Rick Glaser. For those who tuned in late, Rick Glaser's hurt his back. He was here earlier. Excusez-moi. He was here earlier, but he's laid up in bed. I'm sure Rick's taken a couple of ibuprofen just to ease the pain. Get a good night's sleep, Rick. Get a good night's sleep. Take some more in the morning. You know, my pain went away pretty quick, really. Pretty quick, considering how I felt. Was it on the Monday? Yeah, we played tennis on Monday. I woke up. I was in pain for the rest of Monday. Woke up on the Tuesday after taking some painkillers, and I was surprised how good I felt. I actually felt like I was walking on air. I was surprised. It's shocking how quick the recovery took place from how I felt in the night to how I felt in the morning. Utter madness. Utter madness. Yeah, really. Rafi, check this, mate. Where is it? Why can't I see it? It'll come up in a second. I haven't seen it there. Or is it not showing up? Okay, I'll have a check of that. Warren Whyte deserves the heat. Oh yeah. I see that now. I can see just from the title. Warren said Whyte deserves the heat. I'm so happy. Let's get out of that. Warren deserves the heat. I've just seen the article somewhere. Warren deserves the heat because of all the smack talking he was doing about other fighters. Yeah, I saw that somewhere. But unfortunately, it's not coming up on my one device. Let's see if it comes up on the other device. Let's have a look. Let's have a little looky. And in the meantime, I'm just scrolling through. Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgovic. What does this say? I better kill the sound on that. Challenges. Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgovic. Eddie Hearn challenges Frank Warren to accept. I like that one because Frank Warren's been talking an awful lot. He's been talking an awful lot about putting Dubois against Whyte. And of course, that's not really feasible because Dubois has got to get through those levels that Whyte got to. They're different parts of their career. So what is this here? Yeah, Warren, co-promoter for the WBC heavyweight, Tyson Fury, says top contender Dillian Whyte is getting repaid in kind for his countless verbal barbs against other boxers. I want people to put their responses in the comment section because quite a few, Andy Ruiz said it, Frank Warren saying it. This past Saturday night, blah, blah, blah. We all know what happened. But the key point is Frank Warren saying that Dillian Whyte deserves the repaid in kind, deserves the heat that he's getting because of his barbs, his comments about other fights. I want you to put it in the chat. Because I've seen this accusation occur various times. So is Frank Warren right? Are the people who say what they're saying, are they right? Does Dillian Whyte deserve the verbals that he's getting because of his attitude towards other fighters? What do the people say? What do you say? What do the people say? What are you saying? How do you feel that's fair and appropriate? And that's one. The other one is that Eddie Hearn has approached Frank Warren or challenged Frank Warren to put his boy Daniel Dubois in against Eddie Hearn's boy Filip Hrgovic. What do you think about that? He gets what he deserves. What do you think about that? Daniel Dubois versus Frank Warren's Daniel Dubois versus Eddie Hearn's Filip Hrgovic. Very, very interesting. Very interesting matchup there. I like it. I want to hear what Frank Warren has to say because that's more realistic than what Frank Warren's talking about putting him in Whyte. Dubois is in Whyte's rearview mirror. And so that's not really a fight. That's just some Fantasy Island talk. But Filip Hrgovic versus Daniel Dubois. Now that's very doable. That's very doable. I think they're close in the rankings, overall rankings, and they're similar parts of their career. Maybe Daniel Dubois is a little bit ahead, maybe not, but they're similar parts of their career. Of course, Hrgovic has got the Olympic pedigree. Did he pick up a medal? I think he might have picked up a medal. But we don't know. What else is there? What are we looking at? Anything that I've missed? Anything that I have missed? Okay, it's good. I think I've covered pretty much every damn thing that I had on my topic list, that I had on my topic sheet. And so we are good. I'm going to finish up with these final comments from the comment section, and then we are outie. Okay. Once again, I apologize for everybody can't leave super chats today. Something I got to do with the AdSense thing. Something I got a button I didn't tick, a box I didn't tick. Got to deal with that. Am I going to do it tonight or am I going to do it in the morning? I don't know, man. I think I need a good night's sleep. I had a very hearty meal. Just came back, may have had a couple of white rums. And so, yeah, the bed is calling. Pablo Diablo said, I think, is Frank just salty? Is Frank salty? Dillian Whyte gets what he deserves. So, some people think that, that the mouth, maybe around the mouth a little bit too much. That's the feedback. But of course, there's always going to be people complaining. That's a given. Whatever you do, you could jump in a lake and save a dog's life and give it the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And somebody would have something negative to say about that. That's just life. You know what I mean? That's just a factor of life. Personally, I don't really let the naysayers interfere with what I'm doing. But is it justified? Is it unjustified? Some people feel it's justified. It's interesting. I'm just an observer. I'm a partial observer. Okay. Lisa Bettis, I don't kick people when they're down. Aram and Warren being trolling. Yes. Warren and Aram are just classless. Always were. Dame. Good fight, but Hrgovic ain't selling PPVs. Whoops. Is Hrgovic not a draw? That's very interesting. Is Hrgovic not a draw? Interesting observation. Would you think one would get old, more mature with age? Well, somebody once said to me, when I was a young man, someone once said to me, age is no indicator of wisdom. And, I think there is some wisdom in that point. Okay, Pablo Diablo. At the end of the day, fighters talk the talk and get chinned by a precise shot from a class heavyweight. Yeah. Very much so. Frank being Frank, winding Eddie up. Me what? Oh, you think that it's just? You think that he talked too much? Who talks more than Deontay Wilder? I'm glad, the fight doctor. I'm glad you said that because you refreshed my memory. You refreshed my memory on something I wanted to talk about. Who chats more about fighters than Deontay Wilder? Who chats more about fighters than Deontay Wilder? Remember, Deontay Wilder was pretty much unknown outside of the USA until he put Anthony Joshua's name in his mouth. He just, who chats more crud Who chats more crud? Let's call it crud. Who chats more crud than Deontay Wilder? What did he say about Whyte? He said he don't deserve to be in the ring with me. What? That's a big fat lie, because if he was such, if Dillian Whyte didn't belong in the ring with you, why the hell would you not have taken your highest payday against him, which was what it was when it was offered to you? Why the hell would Deontay Wilder not take his highest payday against Whyte? I'll tell you why. Because his handlers were worried. Espinosa was worried. Shirley Finkel was worried. Who else was worried? Al Heyman was worried. You had a whole battalion of people who were scared to put Deontay Wilder, scared to have Dillian Whyte in there against Deontay Wilder, because they know that Deontay Wilder could have got chinned, could have got folded up like old laundry. So let's not mess around, and let's not skirt around. Let's not dance around. You know what I'm saying? Let's not dance around this. If they thought Dillian Whyte was no competition, Deontay Wilder would have fought him for his highest payday. No ifs or buts about it. Let's just get down to it. Deontay Wilder did not want it with Dillian Whyte. That's the real reason Americans were acting like it was the 4th of July. I've heard all the arguments. I've listened patiently, diligently, inquiringly. It all comes down to one thing, my friends. Deontay Wilder, PBC, Showtime, Fox on Sports, Al Heyman, Shirley Finkel didn't want none of Dillian Whyte, because they knew he could have sparked the Bronze Bomber. Let's get it right. Come on now. Let's get it right. They were scared. that Whyte was going to drop and stop their man. Why? Were they right to fear that? Hell yes. They were right to fear that. Wilder would have KO'd the Is you crazy? You got to be joking me. You have got to be joking. You cannot be serious, the Fight Doctor. Link is in the chat. We got a few minutes. I'm open to hear what the Fight Doctor has to say. Give the Fight Doctor a couple of seconds to jump in here so I can just hear his philosophy on this thing. Where are we? In the meantime, we're closing down. We got a couple of minutes left. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. You cannot hit the super chat button right now, but I think the PayPal button should be down there in the description box. So if you so see fit, you can go ahead and hit that instead. If you so see fit, but the super chat button should be back. I guess it should be back by tomorrow. Yeah, I think by tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or the day after. We'll see. We'll see how it goes down. Where are we? Next time, don't get hit by the uppercut. He has shown a vulnerability to that. But does Deontay Wilder uppercut? When was the last time he uppercut somebody? When was the last time Deontay Wilder uppercut somebody? Every time a boxer gets knocked out, Ironman Frank lived 3 days longer. Damn. Pablo Diablo, you can't fault Whyte's heart. The Fight Doctor says Wilder would have KO'd the chitty one. OMG. And speak of the devil, and he will appear. Fight Doctor, how are you, my friend?
Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. I'm in a state of disbelief. Okay. First of all, I want to say happy birthday, sir. You look good to be in your late 70s. Okay, you look very good.
Champion.
When I'm in my late 70s, I hope I can look half as good as you do. Okay.
Hey bro. When you're in your late 70s, I hope you're still stealing men's wives. Okay, carry on.
So yeah, I'm listening. I must say it's very. I did not know that you could be so entertaining. Okay,
because I'm over here. Entertainment Central over here, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm busting out laughing.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
That somehow Team Wilder would be afraid of a guy who gets one punch KO'd by a slow, flat-footed 40-year-old heavyweight.
That he ran from. That Wilder ran from.
Oh, don't tell me that you're still on that. Okay.
He ran from him. I mean, listen. Ortiz.
Wait, how do you run from a guy when you fly overseas to his country to fight him?
He got back on the plane on the quick fast. What he could have done was he could have stayed there. He could have fought him. They could have gone through the paperwork, whatever. It's just a micro picogram or whatever that got thrown out to court anyway, eventually. So he was absolved of that crime. So he could have stuck around, got the paperwork done, said, listen, I'm here for my $4 million. Let's do this. But he didn't. He hot-tailed it.
Okay, so Wilder flew to Russia, I think it was about, 2 weeks before the fight?
He was training in England. I don't know if he actually stepped foot on Russian soil. What happened was he was training in England. He heard the word and boom, back out to Heathrow. I don't know if he touched foot in Russia, back out to Heathrow, right back over there to Alabama. There was no messing around, no sticking around, no looking at paperwork. Is there a way we can deal with this? What is it exactly? None of that. Boom, taxi, Heathrow, boom, back to Alabama.
But my point is that Wilder crossed the pond, okay? He crossed the pond, which I think any reasonable observer will agree that his intent was to go through with the fight.
He had no choice. He got outbidded because Wilder, because he's not a draw like that, they couldn't raise the money. So the Russians won the bidding war. Wilder had no choice. He had to haul his ass over to the UK. He finished off his training camp. And unless I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me. But my understanding is he was training in the UK. He didn't put foot in Russia. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm saying this is my understanding. Didn't put foot in Russia. Heard the news. Taxi straight to Heathrow. Boom, right back over to Alabama. But anyway, I can't really rag on him for that. It's kind of tongue in cheek because he was over here. He was ready to fight, and whatever happened. So okay, he took his flight back over to Alabama.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
So here's my question, right? How do you run from a guy when you fly overseas to prepare for the fight, and then the guy who you fly overseas to fight, he pops dirty?
Well, now, the thing is this, that under investigation, like we established before, he had some kind of a half of a picogram of a drug that was legal earlier on in the year and then not legal. So he got tried for that, and it's a gray area. Was it when did he take it? That's the thing. When did he take it? So that's the gray area. They could have stuck around. Look at the Rivas fight with Whyte. That went ahead. That fight wasn't for the WBC title. So now the question is, given the circumstances at that time, were the WBC going to sanction that fight? And the obvious answer to that question is no. So if you're Deontay Wilder and the WBC, he was still got paid though. That's $4 million that he flushed down the drain when he walked away. $4 million flushed down the drain when he walked away. Went to court, tried to get the money, won the case. Povetkin comes back, appeals the case, he wins the case. So to this day, Wilder ain't got his $4 million.
Well, wait a minute. But all of these circumstances where you're talking about how he was absolved of X, Y, and Z, this, that, and other.
Right.
We didn't learn about all that until after the fact, until after the fight was originally scheduled to happen. So if you're Wilder, why would you fight a guy who is a known drug cheat, who pops dirty 2 weeks before your fight?
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, but he fought a known drug cheat, two-time known drug cheat in the form of Luis Ortiz. Talk to me about that. What you know?
Well, okay, so in that instance, Luis Ortiz did not pop dirty 2 weeks before the fight. So, like I always say, context is important. So we need to put this in its proper context. Your boy, okay, flat-footed, all right, flat-footed, a 40-year-old heavyweight, dropped dirty 2 weeks before the fight was supposed to happen. So in every other instance where a guy is fighting for a world title, he pops dirty 2 weeks before a fight, 99% of the time, the fight is not going to happen.
Okay, fine. So that's your stance on that. Fair enough. Okay, but he did fight a two-time drug cheat, two-time. He fought a two-time drug cheat, two-time in the form of old, flat-footed, less accomplished Luis Ortiz. At least with Povetkin, we're talking about an Olympic gold medalist. Let's read off the accolades. An Olympic gold medalist, a WBA world champion, a guy who in his 15 years as a professional boxer has only lost two guys, and both of those guys were unified champions. One, Vladimir Klitschko who was fouling him all night long, fouling him all night long, holding his head down, literally pulling him down to the ground. Every time he came in, every time Povetkin came in, clinched him around the back of his head with desperation. Yeah, so he fought a Klitschko who needed to foul him all night long, and then he lost that fight. And then he got knocked out only once in his career at the hands of unified champion Anthony Oluwafemi Olansi Joshua. So you're criticizing that guy. The Olympic gold medalist, ex-world champion, 15-year veteran of the highest standing, the most experienced heavyweight in the heavyweight division. You're criticizing Povetkin, but yet
there's one accolade that you have.
But yet you're patting the two-time drug cheat over there in America from Cuba, who Deontay Wilder has fought twice. You're patting him on the back, and you're slandering the ex-Olympic gold medalist, world champion. Talk to me about that.
Well, you've rolled off all of his accolades, but there's one very important accolade which you neglected to give him credit for, which is the obvious PED use.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Alexander Povetkin.
Why don't we talk about Ortiz, your boy Ortiz over there in America?
Well, Ortiz didn't just knock out Dillian Whyte. Alexander Povetkin did. Okay, Ortiz had sense enough. So let's talk about Ortiz. Okay, let's talk about Ortiz.
Who the hell is Ortiz knocked out?
Nobody.
I mean, there's word on the grapevine that there you go. I mean, there you go. So you can't compare the two, my friend. You can't. You can't compare an Olympic gold medalist, ex-world champion, professional for 15 years. Only lost to unified champions. That's a different caliber of fighter, my friend.
Well, here's what I can say about Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
At the very least, he manned up. Okay, he manned up, and he did what he had to do to cycle off of whatever PEDs he was taking to make the fight with Deontay Wilder. On the other hand, you have a guy in Alexander Povetkin who could not find the cojones, all right, to fight Deontay Wilder somewhat clean, and he did so twice.
Absolutely not. The first time it was a lab abnormality, and the second time he was on a substance that was legal earlier on in the year. So you know, it's a different situation. Whereas your man there, Ortiz, you know, I mean, what can I say? What can I say about Ortiz? Jack 3D. Yeah, that's what Dillian took over-the-counter supplement. Most people who work out in gyms were taking the same damn thing. Where we at in the chat? Let me just get into the chat before I get back to you. The fight doctor. So why? So yeah. So you know, it was blatantly clear. The fight doctor, blatantly clear that Wilder's handlers didn't want nothing with Dillian Whyte.
Wait. Now, wait a second. Hold on. Wait.
Why did they duck him? Why did they duck him? Why did they duck him? That's all I want to know. Why did they duck him?
Wait, didn't Dillian Whyte pop dirty when he was supposed to get his mandatory shot?
Well, first of all, they were lingering, and they had to. He had to summons them. He had to send legal papers for them people to pull the WBC to finally pull their finger. I don't know how much they was getting paid. I don't know how much they were getting paid to block Dillian Whyte. I don't know how much from who. I mean, we can only speculate. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate live on the show. But
here, I tell you, if you want to speculate,
I don't want to speculate.
Maybe we can speculate about this. I don't
want to speculate. But to answer your question, it's blatantly obvious that they didn't want nothing. They came up that Deontay Wilder, Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, Steven Espinosa, they must be acrobats. They must have acrobatic ability, because how they managed to pull so much crap out of their respective asses is beyond human comprehension. They thought of every excuse in the book and made a few up of their own. They ducked that man till it's a crying shame how much they ducked that man. And I put it to you, Fight Doctor, that there is one clear, logical, and obvious reason, my friend. They didn't want nothing with Dillian Whyte. They were shocked. They didn't want nothing with Dillian Whyte, my friend.
Well, let's talk about logic, okay? Now, it seems to me that logic would dictate that if you want to get your mandatory shot in the WBC, you won't pop dirty. All right, that seems.
They were denying him long before that. So that thing, and he didn't pop dirty either. It was exonerated.
Where's the B sample? Where's the B sample? We've been waiting for over a year for that B sample. Where's the B sample?
Why do you need the B sample when the A sample came back clear under further investigation?
Yeah, like I said, I want to see that B sample, okay? Because
why do you need the B sample when the A sample came back clear under further investigation? It was a laboratory problem. Where do you need the B sample?
Wait, stop. All right, wait, hold on, stop. Yeah. Pump your brakes. Yeah. What I want to know is why is it that the guys on your side of the pond seem to always pop dirty, and the excuse for why they're popping dirty is that there's always something fishy going on in the lab? I mean, what's the story with that? Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. Alexander Povetkin. Why are you guys on your side?
Tyson Fury served 2 years. As far as Dillian Whyte's concerned, hey, that was Jack 3D first time around. Second time around, some laboratory abnormality. But hey, I don't write it off. The influence from over on your side of the pond may have had something to do with that very curious timing of that incident. So don't rule out that there was some American influence there. Don't rule that out.
Can somebody in the chat please cue up the violin music, because this is just sad, okay? The amount of excuses coming for the guys on your side of the pond who keep popping dirty,
Mexican beef.
And the excuses that you keep making for these guys, it's truly sad, okay?
Mexican beef? Where does that come from? That don't come from the UK. We don't have Mexican beef over here in the UK. We don't have Mexican beef over there.
Exactly. Right. So then that begs the question. If you don't have,
I'll tell you something else we don't have as well. I'll tell you something else we don't have over here in the UK as well. We don't have an ex-champion who was blowing up 20 pounds without putting on an ounce of fat and then coming down 20 pounds and then blowing up 25 pounds without putting on an ounce of fat and then coming down 25 pounds. Doesn't that seem a little bit doesn't
see, wait, all right, hold on. Now you've given me a lot to work with. Okay, so first and foremost, let's address the Mexican beef issue, right?
Yeah.
So now, if you guys
get a fork.
I got a knife and a fork and some hot sauce. So look, if you guys don't have Mexican beef, then why do your fighters keep popping dirty? You don't have Mexican beef.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I don't know. Bro, that Mexican beef that you all be having over there. That Mexican beef that you all be having over there. I don't know, bro. But as far as I know, our fighters are clean over here, bro. You over there, I don't know. You got your guy there, Ortiz. Deontay Wilder would fight him every weekend if they would sanction it. But they won't fight Dillian Whyte once. I just want an American. I just want one American to come over here and just be straight with me and just say, Rafi, we acknowledge that Deontay Wilder and co didn't want it with Dillian Whyte because they knew there was a significant chance.
Wait.
Deontay Wilder would get knocked out. I just want one American.
That doesn't make any sense. What? I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I mean, who is Dillian Whyte, honestly?
Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is the guy who's currently ranked higher than Deontay Wilder in the Ring Magazine ratings.
Well, that wasn't the case before his last fight.
It was the case before his last fight. His last fight was
really?
with Alexander.
So let me ask you this question.
Go to the rankings now when Dillian Whyte is above your boy Deontay Wilder. Do you think that's an accident? Do you think that's a typo? Do you think
let me ask you this question.
Mistake?
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Where was Anthony Joshua ranked when he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz? Was he still ranked ahead of Deontay Wilder? I didn't think so.
No, they dropped him down a couple spots. But what's that got to do with this? Bro, what's that got to do with this?
Your memory seems to be selective.
What's that got to do with this? What's that got to do with this, bro? I'm asking you a simple question. You're going over to something else.
And your memory seems to be selective, okay? Because I distinctly remember.
I just asked you a question, bro. I asked you a simple question, bro, and you seem like you refused.
Okay, and there's a simple answer. I distinctly remember both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder being ranked ahead of your boy.
Say that again. Say something maybe like Say that again.
I distinctly remember Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury being ranked ahead of your boy.
I remember that too. But I'm wondering why you won't address the issue that I raised. I said to you that if you go to the Ring Magazine right now, the respected Ring Magazine, you will find that Dillian Whyte, the guy you say is no good, Dillian Whyte is ranked above your boy Deontay Wilder. So all I want is for you to help me, talk me through this. You're an American.
Let's see what happens.
Oh no, hold on. All I'm asking of you is that you help me to understand. And the question is this: if Dillian Whyte is no good, is a no good bum, flat-footed bum, then how is it that he's ranked above your ex-champion Deontay Wilder in the Ring Magazine ratings as we speak, sir? Please.
Well, okay, so
help me.
That's an easy question to answer. I would suspect that those rankings are old. And
they're recent. They're recent. Very, very recent.
As in, like how recent?
We're talking about within 6 weeks old.
Oh, within 6 weeks, right? Like I said, they're old. So I suspect when the new Ring Magazine rankings come out, your ex-mandatory will be ranked lower than our ex-champion. Real talk. Okay.
Well, hey, that's a distinct possibility. But it still doesn't escape the question. If Dillian Whyte is so bad, if he's flat-footed, if he's a no-good bum, but yet he's still rated above your Deontay Wilder, then that is that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And moreover, my friend, as we come to the end of the show, moreover, I issue the challenge once more. I just want one American. One American. That's all I need. For one American to come on here and say to me, Rafi, Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder didn't want it with Dillian Whyte because he knew there was a significant chance that he might get knocked out.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Oh, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're not prepared to admit that.
Admit what?
Are you or are you not prepared to admit that Deontay Wilder and Co. didn't want it with Dillian Whyte because they knew there was a significant chance that Deontay Wilder would get knocked out by Dillian Whyte? Are you prepared to admit that?
I'm prepared to admit that Deontay Wilder has already beaten better fighters than Dillian Whyte. Okay.
Who?
I would consider Luis Ortiz to be better than
OMG. Oh, Luis Ortiz does not have anywhere near the resume of a Dillian Whyte, my friend.
You know what else he doesn't have?
What?
He doesn't have a one-punch knockout loss to a flat-footed 40-year-old heavyweight.
Well, maybe if he'd have fought a 40-year-old flat-footed heavyweight who was also an Olympic champion, who is also an ex-world champion, maybe if he'd have fought such a character, he'd have found himself and his weave flying out. He'd have watched his weave flying out of the ring as he laid flat on his back with his toes curled upwards.
Well, I've never heard anybody on that side of the pond call out Luis Ortiz.
Well,
and he's willing to fight anybody. He's proved that.
Unlike Deontay, he's willing to fight everybody apart from, but he rejects a $6 million from Anthony Joshua. He's willing to fight anybody, but he's rejected multiple offers.
Well, nobody on that side of everybody.
But when it comes down to it, when he gets the offer, he declines. That's the reality, my friend. That's the reality. And I'm still looking for one American who's prepared to come on. Hold on. Who's prepared to come on here and be honest and say, listen, Rafi, it's very obvious why Deontay Wilder didn't want it with Dillian Whyte. And that's because he knew there was a significant chance that he would get his wig knocked clean off. I'm still waiting. Are you going to be the man?
Are you going
to be the man who's prepared to step up to the altar? Are you going to be the man who is prepared to step up to the altar? Raise your right hand.
I'm waiting for somebody on that side of the pond to admit that Povetkin was a cherry pick gone wrong. Horribly wrong.
Povetkin was no cherry pick for no man. Povetkin is no cherry pick for no man. You Americans, come on now. You Americans, I'm waiting for one true American to step forward to the altar and make the confessions that you Americans need to make, my friend. I'm waiting. I want you to sleep on it. I want you to meditate on it. And tomorrow, Fight Doctor, I want you to come back here and confess.
The only thing I can confess is the question: why would anyone need to be afraid of a guy who gets one punch slapped by a guy who's 40 years old?
You've never seen him one punch slapped by a guy who's 40-year-old. And furthermore, that you bring me to the final point. Since you're not going to step forward with the altar and confess. You bring me to the final point. So if that were so, why would Deontay Wilder not do it himself? Why didn't Deontay Wilder sleep him?
Well, for one, he popped dirty. And for two,
That was later in the game. For years.
Importantly, Wilder had bigger and better challenges.
Such as who?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury wasn't on the scene at that point when he could have fought him. He fought. Let's look at the bigger and better things. Is Luis Ortiz bigger and better things? No. Maybe the first fight, certainly not the second fight. He would have made more money. More money would have been generated with the Dillian Whyte fight. Is Breezel bigger and better things? Hell to the no, no.
Listen, I would have preferred to see the Whyte fight over the Brazil fight. However, Brazil was his mandatory, so he had to fight Brazil. So you can't dog him for fulfilling his mandatory obligation.
No, he wasn't no mandatory. No. Hold on. That was some sneak mandatory. He was a sneak mandatory. He was a mandatory. There was a mandatory.
So either he's a mandatory or he's not.
The WBC wouldn't admit was a mandatory. The WBC was so embarrassed about their sneaky maneuver that they wouldn't even admit. They spent the time denying that Breezel was the mandatory. They actually denied it. They lied and said, no. His fight with Molina wasn't for the mandatory position. No, don't worry. No, they denied it. They lied. They denied it. They were so ashamed of themselves. They wouldn't even acknowledge their trickery and treachery. And the fight doctor, if you look at the front there, people still are holding out hope that you're going to step up to the altar, raise your hand, and confess. Are you, the fight doctor, are you willing to step to the altar and make the confession, yay or nay?
The only thing I can confess is that the guys on your side of the pond are suspicious at the very, very minimum. I don't understand how guys keep popping dirty, but they're not dirty. They're popping dirty, but they're not dirty. They're failing drug tests, but they're not dirty. It's, I don't know, he ate a McDonald's hamburger, or he ate some bad chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, or the guy you had some Mexican kebab. You had a Mexican kebab. You had a chicken fajita.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, chicken fajita. Well, the fight doctor, listen, I always appreciate you coming over. It's always entertainment. I hope you're gonna meditate on the words of the Reverend Rafi tonight, and I hope you find it in your heart to step up to the altar and do the right thing, my friend. We're gonna be here tomorrow, and the phone lines will be open for you. I want you to do this in front of the people, though. I don't want you messaging me behind the scenes. I don't want you messaging me behind the scenes. I want you to do it in front of the people. Okay, I want you to come here tomorrow. Come here tomorrow with a clean heart.
I'm going to come. I'll see you tomorrow with even more blasphemy.
OMG. Always good chopping it up with the fight doctor. The fight doctor, say your final words. Say your final blasphemous words, please.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's awfully suspicious how guys on your side of the pond keep popping dirty, but they're not dirty. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. It's neither here nor there. We will just sweep it all under the rug like the Russians do. So, and there it is.
Are you going to repent tonight, or am I going to have to wait till tomorrow?
Like I said, I have more blasphemy for you.
OMG.
I will have much more blasphemy for you tomorrow. I can promise.
OMG, the fight doctor, good to have you. Take care. Have a blessed day. And thank you for your participation.
Do the same, my brother. Happy birthday.
Much appreciation. And that was the fight doctor. We don't take it serious over here. We don't take it too serious. We can have a laugh. We can disagree and have a laugh at the same time. We can go for the chokehold. And have a laugh at the same time. It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem at all. But I still want the fight doctor to come back here tomorrow and repent. I want him to kneel down in front of the altar. I want him to raise his right hand and say, I have done wrong. But I'm here to show that I have a clean heart. And I'm willing to change. I'm willing to mend my ways. No longer will Deontay Wilder be my savior. OMG. We're having a laugh. Let's not talk about Miller. The drug cheat of drug cheats. Rafi says Fury was dirty Fury. Well, Fury was full of the hog meat. Fury was full of the hog meat, full of the wild boar. Apparently, he was eating the entrails. Yeah, eating the intestines. Apparently, allegedly. So I don't know how that worked. I don't know how, tripe. But let's be honest, 100 years ago, people would be lucky for some tripe. People would be lucky to get some tripe. So they'd eat everything from the rooter to the tutor. Let's not get that twisted. Let's not get that twisted. Where are we now? Fury won his 2 biggest fights. Dillian lost his 2 big. Well, Fury win his 2 biggest fights? I mean, the first biggest fight, I think you're talking about the one with Vladimir Klitschko when he should have been serving a drug suspension because he got popped for steroids earlier on in the year. Nandrolone. Are you talking about that fight? That fight should be a no contest. Let's not get it. Let's don't get it twisted. Let's don't get it twisted. Fury versus Klitschko, that should be a no contest. Yeah, they need to get that straight in the record books. Let's not get it twisted. Where we at? Big up the fight, doctor. Yes. Happy birthday to Raphael. Happy birthday to me. Much appreciation. We gotta stop these sinners. We gotta stop the sinning. We gotta stop the twerking. Where are we now? I mean, testing is pretty much non-existent in the USA. I'm surprised they even caught Miller, but they wouldn't have caught Miller unless the English side insisted that dude get tested properly. Where we at? I let you know that one. OMG. Much appreciation. Tripe and chips. Let's not get it twisted. They even got cow tongue soup. They've even got cow tongue soup. I used to have cow tongue soup when I was a lad. Cow tongue soup, and the texture is delicious. But now people are so mamby-pamby, they probably wouldn't even consider cow tongue soup. But let me tell you this, cow tongue soup is incredible. I've had it since I was a kid. People are kind of squeamish now, you know what I'm saying? But let's not get it twisted. Back in the dizzy, the hog would get eaten from the rooter to the tutor. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Josh, you have to pay for the testing. Hell yes. Potted head on toast. Hey, and don't talk about potted head. Don't get it twisted. They're still, up until recently, you still have brain. They still use brain. It was only when the BSC, the mad cow disease came out that people shied away from the brain. But don't get it twisted. 50 years ago, people was coming home and having cow brain soup. Don't get it twisted. Some parts of the world are still doing it now, but they were still doing it in the UK up until a few years ago. Cow brain soup, that was a delicacy. Let's not get it twisted. People have got mamby-pamby, but back in the day, it was from the rooter to the tutor. Yeah, how old is Rafi? Rafi's 21. 21 and going strong. 21 and going strong. Cow tongue butty, still eat it. It's bad boy. There we go. They're still eating tongue. I remember cow tongue soup. Cow tongue soup, delicious. I remember it. I didn't know it was cow tongue until somebody told me. The cow tongue has a lovely texture. Where are we at? Sheep's head soup on the islands. Sheep's head soup. Certain butty shops still sell a good slice of tongue. Damn. I didn't even know that they were still selling it. Now, I ain't hating it. People have become so that people think they're too slick now. Too slick for a nice bowl of cow tongue soup. When you buy a chicken, when you used to buy a chicken back in the day, they had the heart, they had a little bag. And in the bag of the chicken, you had the heart, you had the liver, you had the kidneys. And all of those things were considered delicacies. People are so pussified now that if they saw a chicken's heart, they wouldn't know what to do. They'd probably scream. And run out of the kitchen. But back in the day, you had a little bag in the chicken. It had the heart, it had the liver, it had the kidney. And all of that stuff was considered delicacy. Now you open up the chicken and there ain't nothing in there. People have become so pussified and squeamish. I'm telling you, I like my chops on the bone. 21st century. My friend is Persian and they eat sheep's tongue and brain soup, of course. And if you're English, merely 40, 50 years ago, they were still eating all of those things now that the Englishman might say, good Lord. Good Lord. No, good Lord. Your mom or your grandmother was cooking that stuff up. Don't get it twisted. I'm off when Nans cook cow tongue. There you go. Nans were cooking all of that good stuff. They say they think the heart and the kidneys and all that stuff are just good for dogs. No. That's some good food you're missing out on. Throw some flour into fry it up. I love haggis. Hard to catch though. I like pig's feet, especially when the nails are on it. Yeah, just cook that up. I've never tried haggis. I've seen it in the shop. Somebody tell me what's in haggis. I know there's some interesting stuff in haggis. Watch too many Rocky films. They hide it in the heather. Okay. So this has been an interesting one. It's been a fun one. We had Rick Glaser. Rick Glaser is laid up in bed. And then the fight doctor jumped on. And yes. We had a good little debate about Wilder. I forgot to talk to him about Wilder's twerking. But we had a good debate, good discussion nonetheless. And yes. I think that's it. I think we've chopped it up nice, sweet, and finely. And what can I say? I think we've done it. We've done it. What else is there? What is else? There's nothing else for me to say. There is nothing else for me. Oh, so haggis is lungs, heart, liver, wrapped in sheep intestines. Lovely. Black pudding is the one. Black pudding, pig's blood. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. All the stuff that people used to eat, and now as the generations go by, eat less and less and less. Yes. I don't know about the white pudding. I know about the pig's blood pudding. Yeah. Isn't it interesting how pussified the world is becoming? Certainly the Western world. Show somebody a little chicken's liver or a chicken heart and they'll run a mile while they're eating a chicken burger. It's utter madness. It's madness, I tell you. White pudding is lovely from Ireland. Never heard of it. Madness, I tell you. But I tell you what else. That's it. We've done it. And until next time, tomorrow I'll probably pop a video out and probably do a live show. It's Friday. Yeah. Almost certainly. Or is it Thursday or Friday? Oh, no. It's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. So, yeah, I'll probably pop a video out. Don't know about the live show, though. We'll probably save that for Friday. But I don't know. Maybe or maybe not. But anyway, it's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the like. It's the subscribe. What? Hold on. I did that wrong. What do I normally say? Yes. It's the boxing talk with Rafi on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for Rick Glaser. It is, after all, called Ask Rick. Rick's laid up in bed, but he still took time out to be here with us. The fight doctor came over, chopped it up with the fight doctor. And, of course, you came. And much appreciation. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit all of the good buttons until we speak again. The only thing left for me to say, well, actually, I gotta line this thing up. I gotta cue this thing up. Where is it? Is it there? Am I sharing that? Okay. So how are we gonna do this? I think we're gonna have to go full screen. And the only thing left for me to say is blessed.